Without a vision, the people perish. Welcome to Vision Plus, a program featuring a positive outlook, dealing with everyday situations of marriage, children, and business with challenges and opportunities. Believing Philippians 4:13. You and I can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. Teacher, author, speaker, delighting audiences from New York to Sacramento with a heart and message for the people today. Here's Bonnie Libhart.
Hello and welcome. I'm Bonnie Libhart. How would you like to have a longer, healthier, happier life? Wouldn't that be a good thing for 1993, for the 21st century, or whenever it is? Well, today you have an opportunity to learn the secrets of how that's done. I know that a lot of people first of the year make those wonderful New Year's resolutions, but they last almost all day on New Year's. And then we think, oh, I blew it. I watched this football game and ate all of this, all the things that you eat. And then you think, well, there's no use for me to stick to this diet because I can't lose weight anyway. And we're going to find out how we do that. Now, there's lots of reasons that people want to lose weight. We want to find out why they gain the weight maybe in the first place. I know my grandmother, when she married, weighed 104, and when she died, she weighed over 300 pounds. And she just gained it from no genetics. It was just good old taters and gravy and meat and all those kinds of things that we all probably love some time in our lifetime. There's a lot of reasons that diet is not a four-letter word, and we're going to find out more about that. But even in the Bible, you see a lot of things. You know that it says in 1 Corinthians 3:16, don't you know that your cells are God's temple and that God's Spirit lives in you? If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him, for God's temple is sacred and you are that temple. So it's very obvious that he says that. Now, if we hop over here to 2 Corinthians, where it says in, let's see, that'd be 6, and get my eyes adjusted here, 16. For we are the temple of the living God, as God has said, I will live with them and walk among them, and I'll be their God, and they will be my people. Well, how do we combine all of the things that it talks to us about? There's one that even kind of scary over here, where it says in Proverbs to put a knife to your throat if you're given to gluttony. And it also talks about not joining those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat. Now, all of the above I think I've done over my lifetime, but how do we keep from doing that? Well, the person we have with us can help you. And I know that she can, because she is helping my husband. And a lot of you have seen him when we did a program on the Chuck and Vicky's program not too long ago, and you're going to see him again. I know the week before last he lost 3.5 pounds, and how did he do it? Well, it was a determination, but with the help of the Diet Center and this person that's with us, Lynn Petty. Welcome to Vision Plus.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, Tony is so happy. He came home the other night and he said, I've lost 3.5 pounds this time, when he was talking to the person that works with you, or that works for you, Carolyn. And he said, just think, in a year and a half, I won't weigh anything. But he is so fired up for this. And he says, I'm full. He says, I can't even eat all of the food that I'm supposed to be eating.
That's right.
So tell me how in the world, well, first of all, let's just learn a little bit about Lynn Petty. How did you decide to go into business for yourself and get the Diet Center in the first place?
Well, it did start off with a weight problem. I was overweight. And
oh, really?
Yes,
I can't imagine Lynn Petty ever being overweight, but you really were?
I was overweight, and a friend of mine who was a nurse referred me to Diet Center. And I was a real skeptic about weight loss programs. But since she was a nurse, that gave some credibility to it. And she told me that they ate real food at Diet Center, and she had lost 10 pounds and kept it off. So I was quite impressed with her story, and so I decided to check it out for myself. And I went there and lost approximately 20 pounds. But better than that, they taught me how to eat the right foods to make me feel good. And I was very interested in that because I am hypoglycemic. And eating the right foods at the right time is very important for hypoglycemia. And that is the way I got started. And it was almost like the Lord showed me while I was on that program that this is something that I want to help other people do. I lost my weight. I felt better about myself. I learned how to eat the nutritious foods that I should be eating. I learned the importance of exercise and thinking the right thoughts about yourself. And it was just a wonderful program. And I knew in my heart that I had to share this.
Now you have children and a husband. Tell us about these people in your life. In fact, I am so impressed. If I don't know, I see Bill Penny Jr.'s here, and whether he can get a close-up or not, you were at the inauguration. Although you said it wasn't necessarily your favorite person, you wouldn't have voted for him.
But I am praying for him more now.
Absolutely.
Since I was involved in the inauguration.
You got to go with your son and daughter-in-law to the inauguration. And I tell you, there you are. You look so beautiful, look like a teenager. Which one is the daughter-in-law? Both look very young and beautiful.
Thank you.
But that was quite an experience. And I know you were glad you'd lost that 20 pounds, too.
Yes, when I slipped into that sequenced gown that my associate's daughter had worn to her prom, yes, I felt very good about that. And I did get lots of compliments on my dress.
Oh, did your husband happen to get to go to this?
You know what? He was out of town and out of pocket, and he's just so
Next
sorry.
time you call me, then you get to go to an inauguration.
He was just so sorry that he missed it, but he was glad that I did get to go.
I know that it was an experience.
But my husband Bill and I have four children, 4 grandchildren, and we'll have our 5th one in May, and we have 6 children.
You have 6 children?
Yes.
Okay.
Our oldest grandchild will be 13 in February, and we're expecting our 5th grandchild in May, and that will be a daughter too, a granddaughter. So we have a girl and 3 boys and another girl.
Well, we're expecting one in March, so that we'll have something in common there to do that. And I've been on a diet all of my life. I haven't lost any weight, but I haven't gained any weight either. But really and truly, I have to watch every meal. Well, now occasionally I do go overboard, Thanksgiving and Christmas a little bit, but I think it is a lifestyle, and I actually feel like
I'm glad you said that.
Well, I drink, let's say, whole milk, and it feels like there's something on my tongue, like straight butter is on my tongue, and I don't even care for it. So after learning to drink, 2% and then 1%, and I haven't gotten to skim milk yet, but 1%.
I have. I like the skim milk, but it's an acquired taste that you have to work on.
Well, now you have those 4 children and 6 children and 4
grandchildren.
Now, what other things? Does your husband help you in the business?
No, he is in something else. Now, he has been in the past, but he is involved in something else now.
Is he helping to take Bibles to Russia or thinking?
He is thinking about this now. He has been invited to be the director of Alabama for Bibles for Russia. And he is definitely praying about that and looking into that now.
Well, we've had the people on that founders.
The McCroskeys.
Alfred and Jean McCroskey, we've had them on. They're beautiful people.
And they're dear friends of ours.
And they really are. Wonderful people and friends.
We go tent camping with them.
Now, what do you think causes people to gain weight in the first place? What are some of the reasons?
It's different reasons for different people, but some of it is heredity, and some of it is environment, the way that a person is brought up to eat, the way their parents fed them, make them clean their plates. Growing up in the South especially, people were raised on fried foods, a lot of fried foods, pork, this sort of thing, biscuits for breakfast, the scrambled eggs, ate big meals because, years ago you needed all that extra energy. But as we have a more sedentary lifestyle now, we don't need all of that extra energy, and so our food intake has to change accordingly. And this is some of the reasons that people gain weight, and people stress eat. When they're stressed, they find that comfort in food, and nervous eaters, and just plain making a pastime out of eating, making more of eating than they should. Food should actually be fuel for our bodies, not a pastime, not a comfort, but this is a learned thing. that we do. We learn to do other things for hobbies instead of eating.
Now, you and I have something in common, and that is a child that has gone on to be with the Lord. And I know that, how has your Christian life kept you with a smile on your face, even though you've been through traumas and those kinds of things too? How did you deal with that, Petty?
Well,
Lynn?
The Lord does give you the grace that you need when you need it. That's the wonderful thing about our Lord Jesus. He gives you the grace that you need for your particular situation. When you think, oh, if I lost a child, I couldn't deal with that. And that's what most parents think. That would just be the worst tragedy in the world, and it is.
I'm not sure that it is, but
right. It seems to be one of the ultimate tragedy for a parent to lose a child. But God does not give you that grace ahead of time. He gives you that grace when you need that grace. And I found that to be true. When my Wally died, God was right there to comfort me and give me the peace that I needed, the peace that passes. He was 18.
18. Just entering so much of life ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
A beautiful child, but I knew that he was a Christian, even though he had gone astray and gotten away from the Lord. I knew that he was born again. And I know that he's in heaven. And I know that I'll see him again someday.
Well, why do you think that, do you want to tell anything about Wally's life, a little bit of how...
Well, he was a peaceful child. As growing up, he was seemed to be peace-loving, not the rambunctious type that wanted to violence or fight all the time. He just seemed to be peace-loving. But an accident happened to him when he was 15 that nipped off the ends of his fingers. And a 15-year-old, their appearance is pretty important to them. And it seemed like more than he could handle. And so he just was very saddened that the ends of his fingers had been tipped off. And he just was not happy anymore after that. And he was introduced to drugs by some peers, introduced to drugs when he was 16. And it seemed like that when he got into drugs, he could forget the fact that he was not whole, or he felt like he wasn't whole physically. And for 2 years, and all the things that go along with drugs, and it ended in a tragic suicide.
So many of us have had things that we have had to go through like that, and I think that that's one of the things that caused my husband to eat and gain the extra 50 pounds was he didn't cry. He went on to work, but that was a way that he dealt with it. How did you deal with it, Lynn?
Well, through just drawing closer to the Lord, I think, and Bible reading and prayer. I knew that He was there all the time. I knew that He was right there. If I felt like, I must have comfort, I would just say a prayer, Lord, I need your comfort now. And He would give it to me just immediately. He was just always so faithful to that.
How did you become strong in the Lord prior to that? Because you already knew Him.
I already knew Him. It was just, I became a Christian when I was 11. So I had that on my side, being a Christian. And I was not discipled at that time, but as I grew older and became more involved in Bible study and prayer, and that's exactly how you grow close to the Lord. It's through studying His Word. That's His love letters to us. That's His book. That's His instructions. So we get in the Word and we pray. We talk to Him. He talks to us through His Word. And that's how you grow close to Him.
Yes.
And fellowship with other Christians, of course.
Sometimes He speaks to us through other people when
Right.
we listen to the Word, and circumstances that He's opening the door for you to have the diet center was a
Right.
way that He was showing you, and you being able to keep your business and stay in business and keep your weight off. It's just all works together if we just are open to listen to Him.
That's right.
And now, how does your program work? How is it different at the Diet Center than other programs that we see? There's several different brands of losing weight. How is yours different?
Well, I think the fact that you eat real food and that you're not required to eat prepackaged foods, that it's very natural thing to do. You learn how to eat the right foods. You learn the importance of exercise. You learn to eat out at restaurants and make the right choices. Behavior modification is an important part of it. The counseling is a very powerful part of our program. The professional counseling that you receive at Diet Center is so important. We're highly trained, we're certified, we know what we're doing. And our program is outstanding. We have future technology that is available today at Diet Center through our new Exclusively You program.
Future technology?
Available today.
What would that be? How does that work?
Well, the time of one diet fits all is in the past. Our new program is called Exclusively You, and we do this by an electrolithograph computer that actually measures your lean body mass and your basal metabolic rate, your percent of body fat, and these important figures are put into the computer, and the computer actually designs your program for you. And every person's is a little bit different. And it also designs your exercise program for you along with your food program.
And you can go out and eat. You don't have to stay home forever.
You don't have to stay home.
You can actually and eat real food.
Eat real food. Now, we have convenience foods there available. We have muffins and teas and all kinds of things like that, entrees, but they're not required.
And I understand you even have some pretzels.
Yes, we do. We call those yum-yums. We have those.
Right. So are you allowed to eat those while you're losing weight, or is
Absolutely,
that just on
that's real food. No, it's on the reducing phase of the program. What we want our clients to do or desire is to not just say, oh, I want to get this weight off and, you know, so I can get back to living. We want to do it like you're doing. You know that it's for everything. You learn how to change your eating habits and exercise for the rest of your life. And it's an ongoing thing. And so we want to teach you how to eat the good foods, the nutritious foods. Combine that with exercise and the right attitude, it's a winning combination. And we help you every step of the way.
What is the right attitude? What do you mean? Oh, got to go on this diet. Diet's a four-letter word. You know,
setting goals, and long-term goals and short-term goals, writing those down, and writing down the reasons why did I start a diet in the first place, and
why you started one rather than why you gained it.
Yes, why did I start?
What triggered that desire?
Yeah, and it might be I want to get back into that red dress that I looked so sharp in last year, or I'm going to the beach this summer and I certainly want to look good there. Or it may be just I'm tired of feeling out of breath all the time. Or it may be my doctor says I have to go on high blood pressure medicine if I don't lose weight. So there's different things that motivate different people. And we do have doctor referrals. We have many doctor referrals because the physicians know that our program is based on sound nutrition. And we do stay in close contact with the individual's physician. And because we do not have a doctor on the premises, we work with the individual's doctor.
Well, now, losing weight is done by a lot of people. I know one of the persons that's in Toastmasters with me said, I've lost 1,000 pounds over my lifetime. You know, and it's a yo-yo. But he still doesn't have, hasn't figured out the system of eating the right foods because they think, oh, I have to give up apple pie and cream cheese and all those kind of things, or cakes and pies. But you actually have foods that they can eat that are... I think I saw you and your daughter one time we were out eating, and she took some kind of pie. I don't remember. Maybe it was a custard
sugar-free, probably a sugar-free.
Oh yeah, sugar-free.
Yes, you can have the good things. You just have to know what choices to make, and that's what we as counselors are trained to teach. Our program is a four-phase. There's conditioning, which we put the person on to get rid of the sugar in the system. It's usually 2 days. And then there's the reducing phase, which lasts a number of weeks. That is determined by how much weight a person needs to lose. And then we do a stabilization phase and then a maintenance phase. And the maintenance phase usually lasts for a year or longer. And so therefore you're staying in close contact with us, and we can help continue the training on how to stay on the nutritious foods, encourage the exercise, which is a vital part. I mean, we must realize exercise is a part of the healthy lifestyle. It doesn't have to be a lot of exercise. It could be a 20-minute walk. You know, it could be a 20-minute on the... Well, no, not every day. Some days it could be just light stretching. or a stationary bike, or working out with a video. Most people think, oh, I can't exercise because I don't have time to go to the gym. It doesn't necessarily have to be a trip to the gym. It can be a workout on the floor. It can be that stationary bike that you ride while you're watching the news. Or it could be a 10-minute walk out your door and a 10-minute walk back. That's a nice 20-minute brisk walk. That's enough to get your heart rate up and get the benefits.
Is that what you want to do, is primarily get the heart rate up?
Yes.
What about the perspiring? Should you work up to a sweat? And
Not all people will do that.
Oh, I see.
Not all people will do that. That's not necessarily the goal. But to get the heart rate up and get the all systems going good.
So should they lose more than they actually want to lose, so that if they start gaining a little bit back, or try to come to a certain place and stay there forever?
That's one of the beauties of the Exclusively You program. The computer actually helps you pick. You pick the goal weight, but then the computer helps design the program for you and tells you how many pounds per week you will lose. And Diet Center's program is programmed to help you to lose 2 to 2.5 pounds per week, which is a good, safe weight loss, because the fast weight loss is usually gained right back. So we are more interested in healthy weight loss and losing the fat and nourishing the lean, healthy tissue. And you do that by a slower weight loss. And I think 2.5 pounds a week is not too slow, but it's slow enough to be healthy.
And you wouldn't
safe.
get the sags and so forth that keeps you where you're losing it slowly enough. I saw that you, in your beautiful place where the Diet Center is located, why don't you give the area?
It's at 116B Lily Flag Road in southeast Huntsville.
We go from the Parkway, just turn onto Lily Flag. And
drive south on the Parkway till you get to Lily Flag Road.
Kind of close to Joe Steele Realty, isn't it?
You turn left right there at Joe Steele, and with the 4th building on the left.
And I saw something there while I was there, and it was a Bible verse. So you combine your Christian living with...
Yes, I do. There's some very, very famous people and very successful women who have done this. I'm certainly not the first. Ginger Heath of Beauty Control, Mary Kay Ash of Mary Kay Cosmetics. They have always said God first, then family, then work, and I certainly believe in that formula. It's a workable formula.
And so it keeps you mentally positive and helps you to pass that along to other people.
Right.
And so do people, what kind of, do they stay with it pretty much? Do most of the people stay once they lose the weight? Do they pretty much stay on the maintenance program for the lifetime?
We have a lot of people that stay with us. A lot of people come on the program. They realize the beauty of it, of sticking with and follow through with the maintenance program. And those that do, the rewards are great. And we do have a high % that does that.
I know you said that you saw someone doing the race walk. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, I was leaving town Saturday to go down and visit with my grandchildren. And I was driving along Whitesburg Drive, and I noticed this lovely lady. She was doing the race walking, just high-stepping. And
that means you're really swinging your arms.
She was really swinging her arm, had a Walkman on, and I thought, now she really has it together. And she looked so slim and trim. And as I got closer to her, I realized that it was one of my maintaining dieters, our clients. And she took off about 80 pounds and has kept it off for 3 or 4 years. But it thrills me to see a person out there still doing the things that I taught them to do or helped teach them to do.
Well, if people want to know more, is it real expensive? How can I afford it? Do I have to have all the money there? Anything that they might like to ask you, how do they get in touch with you, Lynn?
I think that people will find that our program is probably the most economical program around. And they can call us at 882-6890. We'll be glad to give them information. We have a free consultation. We have a free body composition analysis. And we would like to invite anyone who's interested to call us.
That sounds wonderful. Lynn Petty and the Diet Center and all of the people that she worked with are truly doing what it says, where it says that our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, and to get our body in line with with the Word of God, we feel better. And there's so many places where it says that we don't want to become something like the Cretans who were lazy gluttons, which means they just sat around and ate and, you know, evidently they didn't exercise either, so that would go along in the gluttons. You know, it puts people who eat a lot of, well, calling them gluttons, right along with other kinds of murderers and liars, and that's a heavy sin.
Yeah, the Bible comes down pretty hard on gluttony.
It does, doesn't it? Because it says here in one of the versions, in 1 Peter 4, 3, I believe this is where it starts, for you have spent enough time in the past doing what pagans choose to do, living in debauchery, and this one says lust, and it talks in another place about lust being not just sex, but food, lusting after that chocolate, ice cream, whatever it is, drunkenness, orgies, carousing, and detestable idolatry. And it puts those right in line with that. That's kind of scary, isn't it? So
it's substance abuse, you know.
It really is. Food substance abuse,
right,
isn't it? So in order not to be lined up with pagans who live in all of these drunkenness and orgies and glutton, well, we have an answer for you. And I just thank you so much, because Tony's looking so good. My husband, wait till you guys see him. He's going to be on one of these days, and you'll get to see what has happened with a person that does that. And I'm Bonnie Libhart along with Lynn Petty, and you have the answer, the Diet Center on Lily Flagg. Bless your heart for watching.
His presence with thanksgiving in your heart, and give him praise, and give him praise. Come into his presence with thanksgiving in your heart, your voice is raised, your voice is raised. Give glory and honor and power unto him, Jesus, the name above all names. Come into his presence with thanksgiving in your heart, and give him praise, and give him praise. Come into his presence with thanksgiving in your heart.